of the fights this year looked so good, I had to check if my monitor leveled up. From jaw-dropping choreography to moments that made animators question their life choices, 2025 blessed us with pure madness. Let's count down the fights that had us screaming, "Run it back!" Starting off the list with a bang from Danmachi's Season 5, that final fight. Man, Ota really proved why he's called the King of Orario during this fight. I mean, you've got some of the hottest shots in the fight scene like Bell, Ryu, Mia and Hedin, and still Ota was eating them all like they were nothing. Now, usually we cheer for the underdog teaming up to topple the big bad, but here it felt like Ota was the raid boss straight out of an MMORPG, and even a full party of top-tier adventurers could barely scratch him, and the goosebump-inducing soundtrack elevated it even further. Shinra vs Captain Burns from Fire Force's Season 3 literally sets our screens on fire. The fight shows off Shinra's insane speed against Burns' overwhelming power in a way that feels perfectly balanced. Shinra moves through the battlefield with the speed of light, while Burns answers with crushing blows that hit like a hammer. Seriously, watching Shinra fighting against the ideals of someone he once respected, admired, and idolized is really just heartbreaking. The soundtrack of this fight moves the intensity even higher, with those goosebump-inducing drops hitting right when the flames reach their peak. It's one of the fights that just leaves you speechless. Up next, we have a final fight from Ubel Blatt, a kind of anime that has an intense dark fantasy with a pretty interesting premise. Its manga ranked as one of the most popular seinen manga, especially in Europe. So when the anime finally dropped in 2025, fans were waiting to see if it could capture the same brutal and sharp energy of the manga. The duel between Koinzel and Ichfeast proved it could, and then some. The swordplay between the two characters is clean and cinematic, and the dark atmosphere around the two adds even more to the intensity. あら、ダンスのお誘い? Next, we have Windbreaker, the fight between Bofurin and the Gravel Gang. See, Gravel are just these desperate fighters from the Sonaba district. They're the type of people who just moved up through survival. When they target Roppo Ichiza and a few of the Bofurin members, you get an absolute masterpiece of an anime fight. Ganji kicks things off by charging straight into Gravel's swarm like he's got zero fear in his system. Each member of Bofurin is giving their best against the mob. Sakura, Suwa, we even get to see Tsubakino's calm and poised style. The way the anime handles it is sick. If you haven't watched this anime already, you need to give it a try. Moving on, we have Sakamoto versus Slur Uzuki from Sakamoto Days. Now, Slur isn't just another assassin, you know. He's the guy who walked away from the Order, carved his own path in blood, and now carries an ideology that directly challenges everything Sakamoto stands for. And when these two come face to face, we know it's going down. The animation team went crazy with the camera work. It felt like the battlefield was about to collapse. You even get those brutal impact frames where the screen freezes for a millisecond, letting the hit sink in before the action roars forward again. And to be honest, Sakamoto was cutting it close with this one. I'm just glad Sakamoto came out alive. Zoro.
しようもない貴様が。 剣で防がれた。所詮これが偽の勇者の限界。
Cleaver Test is a brand new anime that you may have just skipped because of how plain it looked, but trust me, it's anything but. The fight between Alicia and Drell is epic. The animation really went all out, and this specific fight scene may have eaten up all the animation budget for the series. The fight itself is brutal. What seals the deal is Alicia herself. She doesn't pull off some cheap miracle power-up, she pushes through with skill, timing, and an unshakable resolve. You go, girl. Watching her stand toe-to-toe with a monster like Drell and actually outplay him is the kind of payoff that makes you slam pause just to catch your breath. When Netflix dropped their take on Devil May Cry, fans were split. Some loved the style, others hated the changes. But whether you vibed with the adaptation or not, one thing that absolutely had people talking was Dante's showdown with the White Rabbit. It's full of that over-the-top Capcom energy, even if the villain's final form stirred up more debate than applause. The fight wastes no time throwing us into pure chaos. The choreography mixes fluid blade work with explosive gunplay. Oh, so heavenly. The White Rabbit ends up being less of just a villain and more like a final boss moment. Huge, messy, and the kind of fight that forces Dante to really let loose while still tossing in those trademark one-liners. If there's one thing Dandadan has proven, is that it doesn't hold back, especially when it comes to going absolutely wild with its fights. And the Kaiju Showdown, that's the perfect example. Instead of just one-on-one flashy moves, we get the whole squad piloting this massive Buddha robot that looked boring at first. But once Kinta got his "I understand now" moment, it immediately became badass. The Kaiju itself is this towering, Godzilla-sized nightmare that stomps through the battlefield like nothing can stop it. This entire fight was just a spectacle. The kind of over-the-top, did that just really happen moment that makes you pause, rewind, and watch again. I did just that. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. That will help me create more of these amazing videos for you. Thank you. Let's check out the next entry. Some fights are about skills, others are about strength, but this one is a pure nightmare. The fight between Clown versus Nighthawk squad was one lone Sequence 7 magician tearing through an entire squad of Beyonders trained to hunt monsters. The Clown is pure chaos in motion. He bends bullets, swaps wounds, and toys with perception like it's child's play. It shows just how versatile and unpredictable the Seer pathway really is. The Nighthawks come at him with everything, but the Clown dances through it, turning the whole fight into a stage performance. And honestly, the visuals of this fight make every second of it just unforgettable. Isao Shinomiya's battle against Kaiju number 9 is next. This wasn't just another fight, you know. It was the director himself stepping onto the battlefield, proving that even with age and duty on his shoulders, he could still unleash power that shook the screen. This fight was all about showing the next generation that they were ready to carry on the fight. The choreography is brutal yet precise, with Isao going toe-to-toe against number 9's evolving, terrifying form. His punches land with the kind of impact that make you yell at your screen, while the soundtrack pushes the tension to the edge. Isao fights like a man who knows this could be his last stand, and that conviction hits harder than any blows he throws. Some fights feel big, and then some fights feel mythical. That's exactly what we get when Goku steps up against King Goma in Dragon Ball Daima. This is the kind of battle that screams final boss. From the moment Goku hits Super Saiyan 4, the fight turns into a pure spectacle. Goma towers over him like a demon lord ripped straight from myth, but instead of backing down, Goku goes primal. The animation is just top tier, as always. This entire fight was Dragon Ball reminding everyone why nothing else hits quite the same when it comes to hype anime battles. We've got the fight between Axel and Soryu in Lazarus. See, Lazarus has been throwing out stylish brawls since episode 1, but Axel's showdown with the assassin easily takes the crown. This fight has that energy that makes you forget to blink. Axel's style is all improvisation, bare-handed, parkour heavy, and pure survival instinct. Meanwhile, the assassin is a walking arsenal, shifting from blades to explosives with insane precision. Both are marvelous. The animation of this fight was butter smooth. Mappa goes absolutely nuts here. Coming up, we have Garfield fighting against Kurgan. I wasn't expecting this level of quality from ReZero, but here we are. Garfield struggles with insecurity. He fights with an animalistic instinct, clawing, biting, and using his smaller frame and mobility to counter Kurgan's overwhelming strength and multiple blades. The perspective shifts, the almost feral desperation in Garfield's movements, all of it sells the idea that he's surviving by the skin of his teeth. And then the cherry on top. Kurgan's final acknowledgement. Even as a puppet, he retains his warrior's pride, recognizing Garfield's strength with a single word: magnificent. In that instant, Garfield is a true hero, earning respect from one of ReZero's legendary fighters. Oh my god. Bova versus Queen is the definition of peak anime. And you legit came at me for not including this fight in one of my previous videos, but I get it, so here we are. 8 minutes of straight fire with zero filler and nothing but hands being thrown, right? The choreography was crisp, the camera work cinematic, and both characters felt like absolute monsters in the ring. It was so unpredictable. No one could tell who was going to win until the very last moment, which kept the tension sky high. Bova's rage was fueled by a misunderstanding, and while she technically lost, she also prevented Queen from climbing higher, which gave the clash a bittersweet edge. You knew this one was coming. A1 Pictures went above and beyond with this one. The little details sold the scene. Bayek's shocked eyes, Beru's frantic thoughts, and even the way Jinwoo's movements looked calm and precise, while Beru's were wild and animalistic. You see, in the manhwa, Beru was crushed almost too easily, but here the fight feels like an actual clash between equals, at least until Jinwoo reminds us who's in charge. Right from the minute the blade throw sequence to Sawano's god tier OST drops, the choreography was flawless. It's funny how I couldn't blink for 5 minutes straight while watching this fight sequence. This fight was history in the making. Up next, we have the jaw-dropping final fight in All-Devouring Whale. The fight was no regular fight. It was a series throwing everything at us in one last apocalyptic clash. The blood-red aura, the grotesque forms, the sheer destructive scale. This fight looked and felt like the end of the world. And honestly, the animation took what was on the page and turned it up tenfold. But through all of it, Ling Xiao's resolution defined the battle. He refused to bow, his counterattacks pulsing with the last flicker of human defiance. This Donghua was wild. Literally. close things off, we've got Wang versus Mushan from Super Cube. It was just pure martial arts and nothing else but that. Mushan comes in like an unstoppable wall of muscle, smashing through concrete and tossing Wang like he's nothing. The fight is so addictive. Wang adapts, countering with clean, fluid motion that turns desperation into rhythm. It's a 100% simple fight, and that's exactly where its beauty lies. The choreography feels like a mix of Jackie Chan's creativity and Bruce Lee's intensity, but turned up to 11 thanks to the crisp animation and dynamic camera angles. By the end, it doesn't feel like good versus evil anymore. It feels like watching two unstoppable forces collide until only one remains. And with that, we're wrapping up this list of the best anime fights of 2025. We're sure that we may have missed some of your favorite entries, or at least your ranking would have been a little bit different from ours, so don't keep us hanging. Be sure to comment down any fights that you think should have made this list. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe so we show you more of the best moments around. See you next time.